Hey crafters, welcome to another episode of Spooktober, and today we are finally getting to Bulbasaur to round out the original starter Pokemon and Pikachu, and we're going to make another pirate this time, but with Bulbasaur. I do hope that you guys enjoy, and I hope this whole series has been fun for you. If you have been enjoying it, make sure you do hit that like button. I really do appreciate it, and let's get right into it. So first off, we are going to start by drawing a rough outline as always, and we're going to draw him from front on. So he'd be about here. His head is more boxy shape. So that's what I'm going to start out with is his boxy head, which we can draw a lot of because we do have a lot of space on this wood round. And there we go. I'm going to come out a little bit further for the cheeks. I'm sorry if you can't see this very well because I am drawing it a little bit lighter as usual when I start, so that way I can enhance it a little bit better. And then later we're going to be using my wood burning tool to shade in all the details. And we're going to add in his ears. And they're not quite as pointy. They're not like a cat's ears. I was initially drawing them more like a cat's ears. I just realized my mistake. You probably already saw it, but one ear is larger than the other. So we do need to, I need to correct that. Round out the top of his head. So we are going to come down and just add a little bit more detail down here. It's okay, there's a lot of lines on it, but it's fine. I can erase some of them, which I will on this side. I'm not liking the look of that. And then we do have the top coming up off the back, his like onion shape, which I'm going to draw the 3 points. Well, there's actually 4 points, but you're only going to see 3 from this perspective. Just trying to imagine it coming down like so. I would say that's about right. I need to match it on the other side. Okay, and then we're going to draw his legs. Probably you'll only be able to see 3 of them, but not sure if I got the perspective right. That'll be the last leg, but you won't be able to see all of it from this angle. I'm drawing from a reference image here, at least partially. And then we're going to draw his eyes. We're going to make a twist here with one of them. Nose outline down here, and his mouth. I'll add in some details on that later. And then for his other eye. Alright, so we are going to give him an eye patch, obviously, because he is a pirate. So I'm going to have his vine whip come out here, but rather than the normal vine coming out, we're going to give him a hook. You know, honestly, out of all 3 starter Pokemon, Bulbasaur I know doesn't get a lot of attention because the other 2 are cooler, and, well, Charmander obviously gives you the lowest disadvantage because you're going up against Brock and then immediately after Misty, so it's doubling down on that. Charmander gives you that disadvantage, but Bulbasaur gives you the biggest advantage because grass types are immediately better than rock and water. But Squirtle is good against rock. Not as strong against water, but, you know, not weak against water, though, which is the advantage. I've obviously used all 3. I'm going to draw in some of the triangular patches Bulbasaur has. There we go. And I would say that looks reasonably like Bulbasaur. So I'm going to finish in a little bit more details, and then we'll catch you when I actually do the wood burning. Alright, so we got the wood burner hot, and we're going to start with just the basics as per usual with the comb point. We're just going to get the lines defined in here and make our creation more permanent. And if you're just starting out at home with wood burning, I always recommend starting with like a universal point because it can do pretty much anything as far as the kit goes. You can definitely try out with the more advanced stuff and other tools, but universal point, that's where I started. Just kind of gives you a general idea of the designs. So that's what I did, and I do recommend you try on your own. It's not too hard to get into wood burning, and trust me, your first creations are not probably going to be the best. I'm still learning myself. You can see that Charmander up there at the top probably, and I just zoomed out a little bit for you. But yeah, that was one of my earlier designs from like a year, 2 years ago, whenever it was I made it. So yeah, I've come a long way. I do have a long way to go. It just takes time and effort to practice stuff and get decent at it or good at it. I don't know if I'm decent. I mean, I do think that I'm an okay artist. Definitely not the best out there. There are a lot of better other artists, I'm sure. And I do follow a few other YouTubers that do this. I just try my best. I always try my best to also make it entertaining for you guys, because I used to actually, before I started doing commentary on these videos and when I was just doing silent videos, I used to have YouTube on in the background while I did stuff, or movies or whatever I felt like watching. And I may still occasionally do that. You know, I'm just trying to figure out a new video method that's entertaining for myself and for you guys. But I think they're worth it, because I think they increase the watchability of it. But I am working on my commentary and getting better at it. I mean, I used to do, well, still kind of do Minecraft Let's Plays. The issue that I have now is my laptop died, and I'm going to be getting a new one soon. But in the meantime, I'm not able to do any Minecraft videos. So if you're a fan of the Minecraft content, I'm sorry, but that'll be paused for now. But in the meantime, we have this. And I just have his foot left. Alright, we got our universal point hot, and it's time to embolden our Bulbasaur. And by that, I mean get him, increase the shadiness of these lines, and thickness, darkness. I'm saying every word in the dictionary until one works. If you notice, I have removed the pencil marks. This is all just wood burning now. After this will be the shading point, and it will distinguish everything. Bulbasaur has a very simple design overall, but I like it. And I do recommend you guys try this out if you ever want to. There's some really cheap wood burning tools you can get on Amazon. I actually do have the one, not this one, but the one I started using. I have it linked in the description below. I think it was like $14 when I first bought it, so hopefully it's the same price, but I recommend if you want to try out that you use that one, because it's cheap and you can tell if you'll like this as a hobby or not. And I think that's always important, an important step to starting something, is don't go overboard, because you don't know if you're going to like something, and you don't want to waste a lot of money on something if you don't like it. His eye patch looks a lot more boxy than I intended, so I'm gonna have to try my best. Which Pokemon is your favorite in the original starter group? Let me know in the comments. I honestly do like Bulbasaur a lot, just because I like nature-y things more than anything else. I have almost all of this shaded darker, so I will probably catch you guys once we actually do the final points here, which will be the shading point. Time for the fourth stage for Bulbasaur here, and this is just shading. So we are going to darken as much as we can, but I should darken the blotches, his marks, spots, I don't know what you would call them, just to get those shaded in, because those are going to be like the darkest spot. The shading tool is pretty cool. I've learned a lot more about what you can do with it, like this. Because it's more like if you use just the light edge of the tip, you can control it a lot more. It's kind of like a pen. Okay, and then obviously the green part I feel like is going to be darker than the rest of his body. So I'm going to start with that. Just kind of get that shaded in, just to distinguish it more. I do like Pikachu probably the most out of all the Pokemon, at least in the original series anyway, because I like the concept of having like an electric type. I would say like in terms of like other franchises, like I always liked Storm's powers from X-Men, because her powers are very, very interesting in what she can do with them. I know there's a lot of other more interesting mutant powers, but I do like her powers the best, just because of the electric aspects of them anyway. We just need to emphasize some lighter shading on some parts of his body, like his ears, just get his legs done. And I'm not holding it on here too long, because I want to control how the burn looks. That's the important aspect if you do this on your own, is make sure you are careful with how long you place the tip on this, because the longer you wait, the darker the temp on it. And oftentimes you'll see me just place it lightly and it won't really do too much. It's because I'm just trying to get that rough shading in. But here's the thing, this is a black eye patch, so we're just gonna go all in on this. Make it as dark as possible. This thing can get pretty hot, but looking great, I would say. And you can see the old Bulbasaur here. This is what my original design was from like a long time ago. But I would say practice makes perfect. And I don't have too much longer left on this. I feel like we're pretty much there. And I'm gonna cut to the finished product. There's one more step though that you won't see. I just have to put the sealer on. That's pretty simple, basic step. Use any kind of sealer. I use just glue and water and let it dry for like 24 hours. And then it will be done. You won't be seeing that though, because I feel like it's just kind of a boring step. So that's kind of why I just leave them out of my videos. I used to feel like I needed to include everything in these videos, but I feel like, you know, the simpler the better. And I'm definitely trying to keep these under 20 minutes. I'm hoping we're at like about the 10-minute mark right now. Well, I mean, I've been working on this for like 40 minutes, but in total, but I'm hoping we're at about the 20-minute mark. But I will catch you guys in a little bit. Alright, it's been a full day, everything's fully dried, and I may be a little bit biased on this one, but I think this was probably my funnest project that I've had in a while. I really do like this one, and I think for wood burning, this is probably the best one that I have ever done, in all honesty. I really do like this. It really does look good. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and if you have, please do hit that like button and subscribe button. It really does help me out with the algorithm, and I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers maybe before the end of the year. That's what I would really like to do, but I do hope you guys have enjoyed anyway. And if you want to try a project like this on your own, it's really easy to get into, and you can find the link in the description below for all the different materials and tools that I used, so I do please feel free to check that out. But if you also want to help support me some more, I also have my book linked down in the description below as well. But as always, I hope you all have a wonderful day.